Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, I'm Mary. I give you guys an extra warm welcome, and I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking that subscribe button. I would love to have you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. So for today's video, we are doing a little collab. Some smaller influencers and myself really want to grow my channel. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and hopefully you all can help me in achieving that. If you are coming from their channels, I give you guys an extra warm welcome. Hi. Okay, so today's video, we went ahead and decided to pick 10 neutral palettes and rank them from our least favorite, so number 10 all the way down to number 1, our most absolute favorite neutral palette. So I'm pretty excited about this video and see if you guys agree on some of these choices. Without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so neutral palette. I don't know about you, but as of right now, probably it's because tomorrow, Monday, I will have 13-week-old newborn twins, and neutral eyes are just what I've been doing. They're just fast and easy, and that's the kind of makeup look that I need right now. At number 10, we are going to put the Morphe 350 palette in there, and this was actually my first big palette that I purchased. This is when I first started to get into makeup again. It's just a beautiful all neutrals palette, you know, all kinds of warm tones in here, browns. Like, you can really create a nice and beautiful smoky brown eye with this. I don't reach for it as much as I used to because I have so many palettes, but it definitely has every shade of brown that you can think of. If you have this palette, I hope you enjoy it as much as you do. I know there's some controversy with Morphe and whatnot, but I still think Morphe on some of their palettes have a pretty good, decent quality for what you pay. All right, and number 9 is going to be a collab that Morphe did with an influencer. So these palettes are like my literal all neutral palettes. None of these have like any pops of like really bright colors. I do have some neutral palettes that have that, but I decided to pick these 10 because I feel like they're the most complete neutral ones that I have. So number 9 is going to be the Morphe and Manni MUA collab. This is a pretty palette. It's not absolutely amazing. It does have like this fusion, well, it's not a fusion pink, but it's like a darker pink color in there in case you do want to add a little bit of color. But overall, it's a pretty neutral palette. It's a good palette. It's not a great one. I think I've only used it 2 or 3 times. I honestly feel like Manny kind of rushed this with Morphe, and he could have definitely done a better job. But if these are your colors and you travel, I definitely feel like this is a good palette, especially because it has some highlighters in there. My favorite shade in this palette is Aries. It's just a very beautiful, almost like a duochrome color. See how it shifts? That color is very beautiful, and every time I have used this palette, I definitely gravitate towards that color. So now I am going to palette number 8 and 7. These are going to be the 2 bite-sized eyeshadow palettes that I have from e.l.f. This one is in the Cream and Sugar. It's just like your typical, you know, neutral color, super easy color. Like, use this in your crease, use this in the outer corner, and use this for the lid, and then that for your inner highlight and your brow bone. Great little palette. Again, if you travel or if you're one of those people that gets overwhelmed for big palettes, a great choice for you, especially if you love neutral colors. This next one is in Truffles, and it's the one that has the black shade in there. That black shade is actually a very good black shade. So this is definitely for somebody who likes a more smoky eye. This shade right here, the shimmer, gorgeous shade. Look at that. Super beautiful. So I definitely feel that you can create a very beautiful eye with this one. All right, now let's move on to number 6. And this is actually a palette that is kind of older, but I feel like it's a staple in any makeup lover's collection, and that is the Modern Renaissance by Anastasia at Beverly Hills. This definitely has cool tones and warm tones in there. It has this pop of color here, but it's not like a super bright color. It's just in case you want to add just a little bit of color in there. This one too, but this one is more brighter, I feel, than this one. It's just an overall beautiful everyday palette if you are someone who wears makeup to work every day and like, you know, something easy and, you know, a good on the higher quality side. This definitely is a perfect eyeshadow palette for that. All right, now we are going to move on to our next one, our number 5, and that is the Nude Mood palette by Colourpop Cosmetics. I actually went ahead and picked this up when Juicy Jazz had a little collab with Colourpop. She basically picked her top, I think it was 4 or 5 products from Colourpop and made it into a little bundle, and this was in there. I mean, it's a cute little palette. It's definitely more on the warm tone side. One thing you should know about Colourpop is that for the price that you pay, their shimmers are pretty great. Like that super pretty copper color in there. It is a gorgeous color. I believe this palette is like $13 or $14. I'll put the price somewhere on here. So definitely a very good quality for the price that you pay. I also love this shade right here, which is more like a topper shade. So you can make your eyeshadow just that extra level, you know. Super beautiful. I enjoy that shade a lot. As you can tell, I have definitely dipped into it. All right, the palette that we have at number 4 is the Jaclyn Hill Armed and Gorgeous palette that she collaborated with Colourpop. This is part of the Vault collection. So she came out with Jaclyn Hill palette, the original, the first one, and she had so many shades that she wanted to put in her palette that she decided to come out with 4 more palettes that included all of those shades that she could not include in her original Jaclyn Hill palette, and this is one of them. This is definitely a very warm tone palette. Now if you take away the green, super neutral, you know, I mean, I sure it has gold in there, but I definitely feel that it's a very neutral palette. I love this shade. I love all the shades. I definitely feel, at least for me personally, not everybody will agree, and that's fine. These shimmers here, even though they can be a little lackluster at times, I definitely feel like they're pretty good quality. You know, you can create a very beautiful look with these. It's definitely a favorite, and I do tend to reach for this whenever I tell myself, you know what, I haven't touched my Jaclyn Hill palettes, let me go ahead and create an eye look with them, and this is usually the one that I tend to pick up. Okay, the next one is half of the palette. That is number 3, and that is the Pure and Raw Beauty Christie collaboration. So this palette is 2 palettes in one. It has the colorful side, and then it has the neutral side, which is the side that I really enjoy. It is definitely a warm tone neutral palette with just this one cool tone popped in there. For me personally, when I think of neutrals, my absolute favorite are more warm tones than cool tones, even though right now I kind of am a little bit more interested in cool tone shades. I don't know if it's just my age, but yeah, I've definitely been just kind of thinking that I need some more cool tone neutral palettes. But yes, this palette is gorgeous. All of the colors are super pigmented. This middle shade, Golden Ticket, which is the shimmer color, I feel like it's the star of the show. See how beautiful that is? Now it does suck that she only has one shimmer on each side of the palettes, but if you are one of those people that gets overwhelmed when there's too many shimmers in there and you kind of just wish, you know what, I wish there was just one shimmer in here and that way I can pick my matte colors and then just use the same shimmer every time, then this is the perfect palette for you. We are getting close. My number 2 neutral palette that I own is the Sultry palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I do believe that this is a limited edition. I'm not sure. I don't even think it's on the website anymore. Yeah, this is a beautiful palette. It's in my collection, so I had to include it. And this was actually gifted to me by my sister. So as you can see, this is, even though for me personally, I feel like it's still on the warmer side. Like if you take away these colors. To me, it feels pretty warm. Because of these shades right here, you can definitely tell that it's trying to lean half and half. Warm neutral and cool tone neutrals. It's just a gorgeous palette. You can create so many beautiful looks with this. It does have quite a bit of shimmers, but some of these shimmers are absolutely amazing, and every time I pick this palette up, I just love the eye look that I create. Yeah, see? So pretty. Every single Anastasia Beverly Hill eyeshadow palette that I own, I absolutely loved. All right, and for my number one, now this is a recent purchase, and I'm actually a little surprised it is my number one, and that is the KK Beauty Honey Matte eyeshadow palette. So that means that every single shade in this palette is a matte shade. There are no shimmers in this palette. But I feel like the reason I really enjoy this palette is because it just has all the variations that you can think of. So if you want to create a very light and smoky eye, you definitely can. It just, you have every shade of like warm tan, almost like a bronzer looking style or type of eyeshadow. And then if you want to deepen things up, you can use this one or this one. But every single eye look that I have created with this palette, I really do love. And I've actually been reaching for this quite a bit. Almost every single time since I got this that I do my makeup off of camera, I reach for this palette. It's just a beautiful palette. The matte shades are super blendable, so soft. It's gorgeous. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video of me ranking my top 10 neutral palettes that I own in my collection. It's fun looking through your collection and just seeing what you have. I definitely enjoyed pulling this out and ranking them. That was super fun. And I'm actually pretty surprised at the eyeshadow palette that is my number one palette. Yeah, I definitely am. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. And if you are coming over from the girls' channels, thank you guys. I appreciate you coming over and watching my video. I would love it if you gave this video a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and you would really help me out in the algorithm by hopefully bringing fresh and new eyes to my channel. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking the subscribe button. I would love to have you. Don't forget to click the bell. That way you are notified every single time I upload a video. So I will see you on the next video.